Are you constantly tired? Do you feel heavy and you can't understand why? Personally, I've been carrying a huge baggage that is slowing me down, and it's time to unpack. I was listening to Erykah Badu's song Bag Lady, and that's one of my favorite songs. And for years, I kept listening to the song and I never understood the true meaning until about 3 weeks ago. The second verse of the song, she says, Bag Lady, you're about to miss your boss because you can't hurry up because you have too much stuff. Now let's unpack these lines. Bag lady, your trauma is making things heavy. You can't move quickly because there are things holding you back. When we have traumatic experience, we build shadows that are there to protect us. And most times, those shadows stop us from fulfilling our destiny. That is why, on a conscious level, you know that you're destined for greatness, you're destined for success. But the shadow, which is stored in your subconscious, is like, no, we ain't going nowhere. We stay put because maybe the idea of success is scary because perhaps maybe no one has achieved success in your environment. Maybe you grew up in an environment where they said people that look like you would never succeed, things like that. So we build shadows to protect us. But to experience cosmic consciousness, to experience a full life here on earth, we have to unpack. We have to unpack the baggages. We have to unpack the shadows so that we can unite with the light within, with the God within, and fulfill our destiny. Hello, everybody. My name is Pamela Chioma Belonwu. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and it is my goal to help you discover your purpose here on earth by reprogramming your mind and connecting you to the light within. I will show you tools I'm using to change my own life in real time, and I hope that inspires you to do the same. So if this sounds good, please subscribe. I have a huge baggage around being seen. I believe this baggage came up at the age of 6 years old when I was told by a big cousin of mine on her wedding day that I was the ugliest version of my father's other daughters. You see, my mom died giving birth to me, and about 2, 3 years later, my dad got married again and he passed away when I was 5 years old. And a year after, I had gone to my village for this cousin's traditional wedding. And she was looking at me and she was like, "Oh, you're the ugliest of your father's children." And you think that as a 6 year old, I would forget that. But that got stored in my subconscious mind. And that started ruling how I showed up in communities and in different things. Now, I was taught subconsciously to hide because I was not good enough. So for the past 13 years, I've been trying to share my knowledge on YouTube, but there's this unconscious programming that stops me from doing that. But today, I'm here to tell you that I am unpacking my baggage. If you can hear my voice, I don't feel too well. I'm a bit sick. I'm under the weather. I have my vitamin C here that I'm drinking. But I'm like, no, to unpack the baggage and to show the shadows who is boss, I have to show up. Even though I don't feel good. And the old me would be like, oh, you can just rest and do it later. Because the funny thing is, I was supposed to film this video 2 days ago. And 2 days ago, when I was supposed to film this video, that is when I started having sore throat and my voice started acting up. I started coughing. And in my field, we call this secondary gain. When we unconsciously build illnesses that will stop us from doing something. Because for using my example, of all illnesses for me to get is something that has to do with my voice. And I have that fear of being seen. So my secondary gain is to rest and not be seen because I have a cold and I don't want to cough and blow my nose in front of the camera. But to tell and show my shadows and the baggages who is boss, I'm here. with my scratchy voice, with my head being heavy and having a bad migraine. I am here showing up, stepping into my power so that I can become the avatar of my higher self. Lao Tzu once said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." So, what has society told you about yourself? What has your environment told you about yourself? All those things are lies. All those things are illusion. That's not who you are. You are pure consciousness having a physical experience. And the clogs of trauma are blocking the light. Okay, the lights have now become shadows. But if we clear out the clogs of trauma, the light of pure consciousness can start seeping through, and then you'll have the confidence to share your light with the world. Because we are all here for a purpose. Look at your life. If your life is not where it's meant to be, it's because you are disconnected from consciousness. And one of the ways we get disconnected from consciousness is because of our traumas. It's because of what our ego has told us, that we need to separate ourselves from every other person. There's Black people should not like white people should not like all those separationist illusion that the ego creates stops us from tapping into pure consciousness. And it's time to release those clogs of trauma. Sometime last year, I was meditating, and someone that had hurt me in the past showed up in my mind's eye, and I could see light around trying to seep through, but they were blocking the light. And that's when I realized that our trauma blocks the light from because that light is what gives us energy, gives us immunity, gives us creative ideas, helps us change the world. If you can reconnect with that God within, you see that your life begins to change. But first, we have to release the weeds of trauma stored in the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is a vast memory card where different things are stored. The things you can remember, the things that you cannot remember, the things that happen in your ancestry that you cannot also remember. Science is now proving this with epigenetics. Okay, go look up Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, or this guy's name. I can't remember his name from the top of my head, but the name of the book is It Didn't Start With You. If I remember, I'll put a picture of the book. Go read those books, and it shows that even the traumas that our parents went through is also stored within us in our DNA. And if you're watching this video, you're probably called to release the trauma that is also in your ancestry. And you can do that. That is the secret of ancestral worship. It's not just worshiping your ancestors and thanking them for you being born, but also releasing their traumas and excavating the gifts that they did not have the opportunity to accomplish while here on earth. And how can we excavate the gifts? It's just like I made a video last week about winter time and clearing the weeds during winter time, right? So when you're trying to plant new seeds, like I said in that video, you have to clear the land first. So for you to excavate the gifts in your ancestry, you have to clear the land. You have to clear the trauma. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. It's not easy. I've been on this journey for 5 years. It's not easy, but it is doable. The goal is to connect with your chi, your Atman, your higher self. And when you connect to that higher self, and start releasing those traumas, then you can connect to pure consciousness and experience bliss. If reincarnation is a thing, this is why we keep reincarnating, and we're in that cycle, because our ego stops us from realizing that we are one with the creator of the universe. And whatever intelligence powers this universe also powers us from within. That's why I keep saying this Bible verse, the kingdom of God is within, like Jesus said, right? Every spiritual sage talks about this. In the Upanishads, which is an ancient Vedic text, they talk about union with Brahman. becoming one with Brahman through Atman. Brahman is pure consciousness, Atman is your higher self. So it's very important for us to empty out this baggage. One of my favorite songs by Florence and the Machine is Shake It Off. And in the chorus, she says, it's hard to dance with the devil on your back. Because, like, think about it. Like, when something is on your back, it's so heavy. You can't move your body. You can't move forward. So we need to let those things go. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. The first step is to step into creator consciousness and not be a victim. Yes, people can hurt you, but there's something within you that magnetizes that hurt, believe it or not. I'm not making excuses for those that hurt us. Yes, they could be dick twats, whatever. It's not about them. It's about you. It's about us. We have to look at ourselves. What is within us that attracted such behavior? And then you have to trace it back to your own life. If you don't see it in your own life, try to trace it back to your ancestry. What is your core language? What are you always talking about? Now, let's move to lab sessions. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lab Sessions, a safe space where we reconnect and tap into our inner alchemist. For today's lab sessions, I was going to record a meditation experience, but because of my health, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk you through the steps to empty out the baggage, what I'm doing in my life every day to empty out the baggage. The first step is to discover your core language. You have to be conscious of this. What is something that you are always repeating? I'll tell you mine. Mine is, I'm hungry, I'm tired. I keep repeating this. And then 3 weeks ago, I was like, stop, Pam. Why do you keep repeating that you are hungry and you are tired, even though you just ate or you just woke up? And I started retracing my steps. I've never really experienced hunger in this lifetime. But then I remembered that my ancestors during the Nigerian Civil War experienced famine. My mother was maybe she was 10, 11, 12 years old at that time. And yes, I wasn't born, but I was an egg within her, okay? This is science. Go research on this. And my mother experienced famine. She experienced hardship. My grandfather, from my maternal side, experienced hard times. He lost everything. I had to move back to the village and he couldn't rise again. So me repeating, I'm tired, I'm hungry, that wasn't coming from me. That was coming from my ancestry. So when it comes up again, I tell myself, I'm okay, I'm full, I have enough. Everything is working together for my highest good. I keep repeating positive affirmations, and I've realized that for the past 2 weeks, I've never really said I'm hungry. Even when the thoughts of being tired comes into my mind, I'm like, oh, I am strong. I am strong. I am diligent. I am strong. I'm doing my thing. Okay. So what is your core language? What do you keep saying? And then when you discover your core language, write it down and trace it. Go backwards from your teenage years to your childhood to you in your mother's womb. Where did this language come from? And then you release it, you replace it with positive affirmations, positive prayers. You can clear it with white light. Infuse the white light with pure consciousness and clear it out. For this to work, you have to believe that it's working. If you're just doing it dilly-dally, it will not work for you. You have to believe that it is working. The second step is meditation. I'm big on meditation. I'm big on hypnosis because I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. So I like to call myself a mind design alchemist. In meditation, when you slowly relax your body, we call this progressive relaxation, from the top of your head to your eyes to your neck, and you relax your body down to the sole of your feet. You can, if you believe in angels, whatever you believe in, gods, goddesses, whatever, you call them into this healing session. And then you imagine yourself climbing up a mountain and you have heavy rocks on your bag, in your bag, and you're carrying the bag like a knapsack, and you're walking up this mountain, but it's still heavy. And then bit by bit, you start releasing them. Maybe one stone has the word doubt on it. Maybe one stone has the word poverty on it. And you start releasing them until the bag is empty. Then you start calling in what you want: joy, bliss, abundance, wealth, love, prosperity. You start calling it and filling the bag and letting it be light. And then you climb to the mountain and you're up there looking at your own kingdom. That's something I do all the time. Or you can imagine yourself, if you're not scared of height, in what do they call a hot air balloon, and the hot air balloon is trying to take off, but something is holding it down. So what you can do is, while it's like slowly, and this is happening in your imagination, while it's slowly excuse me, while it's slowly rising up, you start imagining yourself cutting off the things holding it back, and those are your baggages, until you cut everything off and the hot balloon can freely ascend to, you could imagine yourself going to the kingdom of pure consciousness or your ancestors or whatever. Just try this, do this for about 21 days, 30 days, and see how you feel, what comes up in your dreams. And I should say, I am not a professional. I am not a professional. If you're going through depression, anxiety, please go see a medical professional. I'm just telling you what I do for myself. So if you like, you can try this for 21, 30 days, see what happens, what comes up in your dreams, and hopefully you can release that baggage so you don't miss that bus. So you don't miss your bus. So you don't miss what the divine has planted in your divine blueprint. So I hope this video made a lot of sense. I'm so sorry that my energy is off. Like, I'm trying so hard not to fall, but I needed to do this because I'm not gonna cry, because I needed to show my baggages that I am safe to be seen, and what the knowledge I have, it's time to share it with the collective consciousness. So if this video hits something in your heart, please subscribe, share with your friends, families, and let me know down below, what baggages have you been carrying if you want to share, and if you're going to try this experiment with me. A final bonus lab session is identify your triggers. Triggers are teachers. That's what people don't realize. Your triggers are your teachers. If someone triggers you, there's something within you that is trying to come up to the surface. Triggers are like the hook, the fish hook, using to fish out what is in the shadows. So, for example, I'll tell you one of my triggers. One of my triggers is spiritual people that charge a lot of money for their services. That's a trigger. And then I had to sit with myself, okay, why is this triggering me? And then I realized that because they have the audacity to show up and charge their worth, there's something within me that knows that I can do the same, but I'm holding myself back. So that's a trigger. So what is your trigger? That is a way to also find out what baggage you've been carrying. So I hope this video touched your heart. And if it did, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.